Here are the new IOD molds, transfers, stamps, and inlays. Today we're gonna be making over thrift store finds. We didn't spend over $4 for any of these items. We're gonna do a little bit painting, but most importantly, we're gonna be making them over with IOD.
I'm almost done. How many new items? 10?
Yeah, we'll give you a little montage here, so that way Zeb can show you all the products and names, and then we'll get going. If you guys want to buy these paint products, we'll share the link below from JamiRayVintage.com. We love to paint metal and ceramics, and I get asked a lot how to get the paint to stick. One of the things we like to use is DIY's Salvation Solution.
Wait, pause. You got a sticker.
Oh, although you should not paint over stickers, so thank goodness. I'm just gonna put one coat on here and then I'll be ready for paint. The nice thing is this one's white and it's getting painted white.
We'll probably remove that sticker on the bottom too. Don't worry about it.
And also this is gonna get painted white. Nice little primer coat here.
Picked up these two little frames. This one just had a back, didn't have anything, so I made a little cardboard insert. We're gonna paint this and then stamp both of these. Just a little bit of crinoline and DIY paint. I'm just gonna get it on here and then I'll brush it smooth.
We're gonna try to just paint the middle here. We're gonna see how neat can Zeb be.
Pretty neat. Oh, never mind, it's already done.
Next color is Skeleton Key. It's like a really nice base to build on. One of these boxes I think is gonna get transfers and the other one is going to get molds. We'll see.
All right, Jamie's speeding things up so we can get second coats on things with the heat gun, and I'm gonna wash this with the DIY Cottage Color. This is the single step all-in-one. Dip in the paint, just a little bit, 1/2 inch. Dip in the water, brush this on. It's gonna go on nice and thin.
So IOD came out with 3 molds. We are only gonna be using Hidden Hollow and Toadstool. They should have called it Shroomin'.
Dewdrop Pond is what this one is.
Yeah, so Dewdrop Pond, we are not going to be using today, but we'll show you a picture of that. I'll probably wind up using it tomorrow. I love the hummingbird on it, but we are going to be using the Hidden Hollow door, and then we'll just use some mushrooms for these 2 projects we're working on. So Zeb's gonna be using resin, which dries hard, and you can, if you are quick, you can manipulate it and get it to go around round surfaces. And then it also gives a lot of the detail, and especially on this door, you want all the detail.
Yep, it's amazing casting resin. It's not clear. Oops, this is not flat. Our drop cloth has some bumps.
This drop cloth is old. I think that it'll probably fill that up. Perfect.
Okay, and then on with the mushrooms on the toadstool.
All the little ones.
All the little ones, okay.
Yeah, I think those would probably be the ones.
They have some crazy detail on them.
I know. Mushrooms are all the rage in home decor right now. And I think they're gonna look really cute around this. We are at that exciting part where we're going to demold our pieces.
I don't know if you can see the detail. Once we paint it, we'll get you good close-ups.
The door is going on this cute little box here. It fits perfectly in the front, but I'm gonna paint it crinoline and then I'm gonna put it on because I wanted to contrast it. And then I was going to maybe put mushrooms on the side, but I think I just wanna do 2 of these and then 2 of these. So does that leave you with enough to?
No, I needed all of those.
You needed all of these?
Yeah. I think just a door on the front of that would be fine.
The door is good on that?
Yeah.
It's cute.
I mean, I can pour more if we need it.
No, I think it's okay. Okay, so I'm just painting this with crinoline, and then once it's dry, I'll glue it on my piece.
So these are still a little bit pliable because we just demolded them. If you want to use them in this application and put them on something rounded, what you need to do is demold them pretty quickly afterwards, or you can microwave them if it's been a while for about 15-20 seconds. Just know the more you microwave them, the harder they're going to get. They're only going to soften up a time or two.
Okay, so I've just used our Gorilla Glue construction adhesive on this, and I'm going to let it dry. Again, still, you're not going to see a ton of detail, but we'll let it dry completely. Everything's going to get a clear wax and then a dark wax, and all that detail is going to pop. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and just run a damp rag across the edges, and I'm going to wet distress the skeleton key color that I have underneath. Then I'll set this aside until we are ready to clear and dark wax everything.
It is stamp time, and this is my favorite new stamp. It's going to get used a ton. I am super excited about all of this. Okay, getting my layout set up here. I just got 3 elements.
This is from the Antiquities stamp.
I think this will fit nicely on the tall one. I gotta eyeball it myself. Okay, we gotta straighten that up a little bit. You can use ink. I'm just gonna braze some of this DIY old school. And we'll see what kind of detail we get on these new stamps. Ooh, that's a lot of ink. It came out super thick.
I was watching you do that and I'm like, oh, just roll it on the drop cloth to, like, it's too much.
And we're down. Worst case scenario, I sand it off, repaint this, and we try again.
No, it's gonna be amazing. I'm also thinking I should paint the frame with the matching paint, old school.
Oh yeah, that would work.
And then that'll give us some contrast.
I was gonna distress that back through, but it's black underneath.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. I might need to go a little juicier, and my patisserie's upside down. Good thing I can read. All right, see, I was forewarning you. Sometimes I mess these up.
I'll fix that.
But the horse is great. Like, the horse looks really good. 3 minutes later, and we've heat gunned it, repainted it, and it's ready to try again.
It just built some texture. We wanted it to look like an old painting.
Yeah, you know, practice makes better.
Yeah, so now we know it just needs to be juicier. And quick, because that paint dries fast.
And I got the patisserie the right way. There we go.
Now I'm heat gunning.
There we go. That's looking good. Breaking out the Iron Orchid Design stamp pad. The inks are amazing for all the fine detail. I like the paint because it kind of gives like an old world look. Like it's been worn right out of the gate, but if you want to see all the things, use the ink. Freestyle. I got some ink on the edge of that. There you have it. It's looking great. Look at all that crisp detail with the ink.
I've gone rogue and I'm using different elements from the Antiquities to do my cute little used to be grape box.
You're not using grapes. Are there any grapes? I haven't seen any grapes.
Nope, not that I can see.
No grapes. All right, got this framed up. I love that.
Here's mine. I did the top and then I used the roses from the Antiquities. I'm just gonna use Queen Bee on this because I think it'll be great with the dark wax and the mushrooms. So I'm going to come in and paint in here, and I'm gonna be doing a stippling effect so we just get a little bit of texture.
We've got one more thing we're gonna stamp. I don't know how to say that. La Campagne. We'll go with that. No, it's a C. Anyway, this is a double stamp. You get 2 sheets in this one, and I'm gonna use this big rooster. Look at that. So one of the things to avoid, you can see here, I had a little bit of ink over on the side of the stamp. You can come in with the paper towel or something and wipe that off before you stamp. I didn't realize it was on there. So what I'm gonna do is I will just lightly sand that, maybe distress this whole thing, and it'll look like it's on purpose.
So we're using the melange inlay. And so I'm going to figure out which of these I want to use. There's a ton of elements in this one, so it's great for smalls. You can use it on an entire piece. There's some great examples on the back, but I'm going to probably wind up breaking it up to a bunch of different things. And then the other paint inlay we'll show you on the video, but we're not going to have time to do a big piece of furniture with it right now. Oh, these elements are like good size on here.
Yeah, they're bigger than expected.
I love this rooster one. Like, this is gonna be amazing.
Oh, I could see doing that just like its own piece of art.
Like on barnwood?
Yeah.
So what about one of these botanicals?
I like that one.
This one?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna cut out the one that I'd like to use. And these can actually be used more than once. Each time you use them, they'll lose some of their color because it's actual paint. And they do require a few more steps. If you feel like you can't remember all these steps, don't worry, because there are instructions on the back of every package.
They just get a little muted with multiple uses, almost like you turn down the opacity.
So you don't want dripping paint, but you don't want it to be dry. So now I'm gonna take this element.
Do you need me to hold it at an angle for you?
I'm just gonna put it on here like so. I'm committed. And then we're gonna push it down, and then we gotta get it wet on the back. Now I'm just gonna damp the back, and then once the paint dries, then we'll damp the back again and peel it off. This is what's going to make it so that way the inlay adheres to your surface.
It's gonna be good.
You know this is dry when it gets like white and filmy looking, but you gotta get it wet before you peel the paper off. It helps the inlay release. So I'm just gonna peel this off, and the image from my inlay will remain below. Ta-da!
So good.
I'm gonna be putting this on this really pretty bucket, basket, whatever, but I've gotta separate these elements out so I can work with them. So it's a little bit tricky. I'm using my kindergarten cutting skills here. Okay, so I'm gonna just cut this down here so I've got a straight edge to work with. There we go. Just gonna start at one side and work my way around. Here is the transfer on my piece. I'm gonna lightly distress it and it'll be ready to be sealed. So when you're sealing paint inlays, this is really important. You're gonna take a spray bottle with half water, half sealer, and you're gonna set it. You're gonna spray it, don't let it get drippy, let it dry completely, spray it again, let it dry, just with like a spray bottle or mister. Then you can seal it whatever. Because this is paint, you can overwork it. In this case, it's just decor, so I just took my wax brush lightly, and I emphasize lightly, don't overwork it, went over it, and then I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna like overly buff it or anything because I don't wanna smear the inlay, and then I can just go ahead and wax everywhere else. I don't wanna bore you to death, but everything was distressed with 220 sandpaper and then sealed with clear wax except for the tray. I'm not done with this one.
Oh, okay.
So we're just quickly finishing them up, and then we have a few pieces that we did clear wax, and we'll come back with dark wax and I'll show you that. Don't overwork your paint, especially the dark and the light together. Just like the paint inlays, the paint or ink when you stamp it can smear a little when you distress it. I wanted to age this, so I'm working with it, but the trick is I'm heavy buffing around the edge, and then I'm lightly buffing across the top. Same thing with the old school. You don't want to overwork that because you'll make a big muddy mess.
Now the moment you've all been waiting for, paint on Jami's face and dark waxing.
Don't show my face. I'm just dark waxing to bring out the details in these mushrooms and all the texture. I clear waxed first, so that way it's not like poopy brown. It gives us a little bit to work with as far as resist goes. Once I get that all on here, I'm going to take my lint-free rag and I'm going to pull off the dark wax. Do not let it sit for an extended period of time or else you won't be able to pull it off.
It was too stark with the whitewash with the yellow dark waxed, so we're just making it match a little better.
Yeah, it was already whitewashed, and so this is kind of looking like a dark stain on here, but now it's gonna join the two pieces together. Fairy door already got clear wax. I gotta try to pull out. It has so much detail. I'm gonna use my wax brush. Well, actually, it's a JRB stencil brush, but I'm gonna use that to pull the wax out. And now you can see all that amazing detail from the mold that you couldn't see before.
We have spent an entire afternoon having fun putting all the new IOD products on home decor, small items, especially these doors. I didn't think I was gonna like the mushrooms at all or the fairy door, and now I gotta make like all kinds of fairy gardens.
I think sometimes it's good to try new things and stretch yourself. We did even use Queen Bee, which is not a color we use a ton of, and we used a lot of dark wax. It was fun. If you guys want to buy these paint products, we'll share the link below from JamiRayVintage.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Let us know, what is your favorite transformation. None of these thrift store finds cost over $4. They're a great way to have fun with IOD. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.